ago. And after they reconnected in 2012, they went on a couple of dates. Robert claims he loaned the defendant $3,600 because she said she owed it to her roommate. But he's suing because she's failed to repay. Defendant Kara Quinn says Robert has had an interest in her for as long as she's known him, but she insists they were nothing more than friends. Kara claims Robert was always trying to impress her with money, and that's the only reason he gave her the $3,600.
Start with you.
Kara and I met about 30 years ago. We were both bartenders in the same bar. Then we lost touch. She moved down to Florida. We reconnected in 2012. Then we went out. In 2014, I had contact with her. She wanted to go out on a date. She said yes.
Who wanted to go out? You said she wanted to go out on a date.
No, I'm sorry. I asked her if she wanted to go out on a date with me.
You wanted the date?
Yes.
You asked her?
Yes.
All right, well, make it plain.
Okay, Your Honor.
I know you're trying to make yourself a little more popular. But, go ahead.
So we went out on quite a few dates, and she was telling me the hard time she was having, and that she owed her roommate $3,600. I said, well, I can lend it to you.
Just out of the blue?
Pardon me?
She didn't ask you for it?
No.
How many days had you all dated at that time?
Well, 3 or 4 times, maybe.
3 or 4 times, and suddenly she needed $3,600. What you call that? Dry what?
Dry begging.
Dry begging.
She said she was...
I'm not saying that's what you do, but that's what a lot of people do, man. When you with somebody, you with them and they hanging out. You don't seem like yourself. Is everything all right? Oh, yeah, everything all right. I just got something on my mind. Well, what's on your mind, baby? No. I don't want you to get involved. Well, no, I really, just tell me what it is. Well, I totaled my car and I need $5,000 to get my car fixed. But no, don't you worry.
I'll handle it.
I'll handle it, yeah. I'll get it in a year and a half. Oh, no. I'll give you that money now. Is that what happened? Close to
She
it?
refused it the first time.
She refused it? Oh,
yes.
That's the best. Oh, you don't get any better than that. You don't get any better than that. That's the best. Oh, you good. That's the best. Oh, no. I won't let you do it. I won't let you.
No.
Then, how long did it take before she let you do it?
The next day.
The next day? The next day.
No way.
She brought it up again, and I says, the office is still open. I'll lend you the money. She says, okay, I'll take it. And so then the following day, I gave her the $3,600.
And when was that?
That was on June 21st, 2015.
Okay.
And she said she would pay me back March 1st. I said, don't worry about it. Make it March 30th.
How did you expect her to pay it?
She said she had a lawsuit against her ex-husband coming up.
Lawsuit coming?
Yes, at the end of February or the beginning of March.
May I say
yes,
something?
ma'am.
I need to.
I'm sorry.
First of all, yes, I've known Bobby for over 30 years. Bobby has always had an interest in me ever since we were bartending together like 30 years ago. We never went out on dates. Platonic friendship. I've never, ever went anywhere with him and ever gave him the impression that I was interested in him any more than just being a friend. That's all. We went actually out to some really nice places. He knew I was struggling, rough times. I went through a divorce. I lost my fiance to death. And I was really in a dark place. And when the subject did come up about with money, he did offer me money through the whole time. I think January 2014 was the first time that I actually went out with him. And I think it was a Broadway play, the Book of Morons. That's what I called it, but it was actually the Book of Mormons. And I was like telling my friends, it's going to be so much fun, you know? I'm finally going out again, but I only went with him because I trusted him. He's my friend. I certainly wasn't ready to go out and date anybody, and anybody that's known us through the years only know us that we've been friends. So again, now when money came up, yeah, he always did offer to me, and I wouldn't accept any money from him, but I did. Yeah, he would say to me,
he would always, the subject would always come up?
Every time I would go with him out to dinner, or I'd go with him to a play.
Got it.
All right,
but
he
how
would always
money
try to impress me.
Come up?
He always tried to impress me with money. He knew I was on some financial hard times. He knew I was waiting for my divorce to financially settle.
Because you told him all that.
Excuse me?
Because you told him, obviously.
Yeah, when you go out with your friends, you talk with your friends about things that are on your mind.
So you did tell him you needed money?
Well, no, I told him I was struggling. I didn't say I needed money from him, per se.
I didn't ask you that.
But yes,
I told you, that's the definition of dry begging. You don't say it to them. You don't say, I need it from you. That's exactly how you do it. Exactly what you're describing. Yeah, I got money problems.
No, not like that.
I'm going to get some big money in about 6 months. But for now, I really need it.
Not like that. Certainly not like that.
So he loaned you the money or not?
Yes, he did, and it wasn't in June 2015. He actually came to me in January 2015. I had relocated, and I wanted to give money back to my roommate because we were sharing a house
January
together.
15th, he loaned you how much?
It was $3,600.
All right, and when did you tell him you would repay him?
I told him that if I would be able to give it back when the divorce financial part was settled.
Did you have any idea when that might occur?
It was supposed to be within the next 30 days because I did receive a letter.
So it was supposed to be February of 15.
It was supposed to be by February, the end of February.
So what has happened since then? It's been over a year.
Well, what happened was, unfortunately, there was tax consequences in the divorce settlement.
Later on Judge Mathis.
An hour came and passed, Your Honor. No Alan. Jason called me back. Donna, if I don't get the 1621, I'm bringing your brother's body back to the funeral home. There would be no graveside service. I said, Jason, you can't do that to my family.
That's all.
Defendant Kara Quinn says she and the plaintiff were nothing more than platonic friends. But the plaintiff insists he and Kara went out on a couple of dates.
And you told him you would pay him in 30 days or so? That's when you expected to get
I told him I was waiting on the divorce financial settlement, and he agreed.
You expected that to be within the next 30 days?
I did expect it to be, and I didn't see it being a problem. The only reason why I accepted, okay, thank you, I will.
But now, over a year later, what do you say?
Well, no, what he's been saying to me, he'd always say to me, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. And I'd say, well, you know, I feel really bad. That's a large sum of money.
He's decided to make you worry about it. That's why he's suing you.
Well, obviously he did, but he only got mad because as time went by, naturally I'm not going to sit there and go and do a lot of the things that he wanted me to do, such as, I'll take you to go see your sister in Cabo, go get a passport. I think that'll be great. You know, he always wanted to take me out and take me places. That also changed, and I think he changed a lot.
You rejected that?
Of course I did.
Why?
I rejected that because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. And
okay, but of course you did. Of course you rejected those items, but of course you didn't reject that $3,600.
Well, I've known him for so long. I thought it was going to be something, and he understood that the only way I was able to pay him back would be to settle on my divorce. I know, but you were so adamant about rejecting the trip, but you weren't so adamant about rejecting that $3,600. What's your intent on paying him, and what should he think now? Well, like I said, the only reason that he brought this up is a lawsuit.
I got all that. Why shouldn't you pay him?
Why shouldn't I pay him?
Yes.
Well, I should pay him, and I did
Judgment for the plaintiff. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor. I can still be friends if she wants. If not, she can go on, have a good life.
Of course we're going to still be friends. I hope that we'd still be friends. And I never meant to not give you the money back. I think you just got very upset with me and you took it too fast to court.
Plaintiff Donna Bryant Johnson says the defendant is her nephew, and growing up he hung out with gangbangers and drug dealers. Donna claims the defendant ended up going to prison for grand theft auto, and after he was released he felt resentment towards their family. She's suing him today for funeral costs. Defendant Alan Bryant insists he does not resent his family, and they owe him nothing. Alan admits that he sold drugs at a young age, and his family was constantly asking him for handouts, but he insists he doesn't owe Donna anything.
Start with you.
First of all, I want to say I love me some Judge Mathis. Your wife not here today, is she?
Not today.
Okay, moving forward, Your Honor.
Thank you, though.
This is my nephew, Alan Bryant. We pretty much grew up together, few age different. While I was in school getting my degree, Alan was out hanging with the wrong crowd. Drug dealers. He even went to jail for grand theft auto. When Alan was released from prison, he was walking around with this chip on his shoulder. He even had resentment toward the family, and I'm thinking all of this was because while he was in prison, none of the family members visited him. Why? I don't know. But I do know he was making several calls to the family members.
How old was he?
He was early 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So he came out with a chip on his shoulder.
Yes, yes. And he continued to stay on the wrong path.
Okay. Like
he
what?
He was always trying
like
to con people out of money. Conning people out of money.
Okay.
And
give me an example.
That's why I have him here today.
Give me an example.
He owes my
Other
mother.
Than this, not this, or something else.
Okay, he owes my mother money today.
All right. How did he con her, though?
Telling her that he would pay her as soon as he got out.
Okay. You ever been late on any bill in your life?
Yes, sir.
Were you conning?
No, sir.
All right. You just late on the bill. Go ahead. Let me hear from you. He just hadn't paid his bill. Go ahead. Let me hear from you.
Let me state this. I have no resentment towards my family because they owe me nothing.
Okay.
I did go to prison, sold drugs at a young age, and did the wrong things. My family is used to me having money. And by them used to me having money, when times would come up, they need to borrow something. It's not $20, $30. It's hundreds of dollars they want to borrow.
What years were these?
These were in my 20s, my 30s, and even to my 40s.
Okay.
It's just recently, within the last 3 years, I don't have money like that anymore. So I can't make loans like that anymore. I work a regular job. After going to prison 3 times, I decided that's not a life I want to live. So got myself together and got a trade, and I work like everybody else now. I go to work and live paycheck to paycheck.
What type of trade did you get?
HVAC, sir.
Good. What year?
I got the trade in my 20s, but I didn't start using it until about 37 years old.
All right. So you still had the qualifications, and
yes, sir.
Everybody that's listening and watching today, they should see that. Just get the skill, whether you use it or not. One day when you do decide to use it, it'll be right there for you. How long did it take you for that? 18 months?
Yes, sir.
18 months?
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
See? Did 18-month program and skill for the rest of your life.
Yes, sir.
Good. Good to hear that. Now, that's real rehabilitation.
Coming up next on Judge Mathis.
You grew up in the house with us, Alan.
No, I did not.
Alan?
No, I did not.
Now, this is a big one, y'all telling. Somebody's telling a real big one. And you know, one of you all know whether he grew up in the same house or not.
And coming up, today's Judge Mathis Throwback.
I was trying to figure out how I'm finna fix her car.
You stole someone else's headlight?
Even in the rain, the duct tape don't come off. It's good to go.
You was trying to go to jail.
Next, Judge Mathis.
Donna Bryant Johnson is suing her nephew, who she claims spent time in prison for grand theft auto.
She has been all right with you for the most part?
I've never had a problem with my aunt. We've never spent a whole lot of time together, and I never spent a whole lot of time with the Bryant side of my family.
You grew up in the house with us, Alan.
No, I did not.
Alan?
No, I did not.
Now, this is a big one, y'all telling. Somebody's telling a real big one. And you know, one of you all know whether he grew up in the same house or not. No confusion, no mistake.
At the age of 5 years old, I did not spend time in my grandmother's house, except for an occasional holiday.
All right. And your lawsuit regarding the funeral costs, tell me about it. How does he owe for that?
Yes, sir. October 2015, my oldest brother, which is Alan's father, passed away. We found out that he did not have insurance. So we sat down together as a family, including Alan. We sat and talked on how we're going to come up with this 4521. Me and my family collected $2,900. I met Alan at Jason Bushline Funeral Home. I gave Alan $2,900. Alan told me, I said, we're good. He said yes. So Alan, I gave him the money. He went into Jason Bushline Funeral Home to pay for the service. My sister and I went to the grocery store to shop for the repast meal. An hour later, I get a phone call from Jason. Donna, your nephew paid all but $1,621.
All but $1,621?
All but $1,621 from the 4521. I called Alan. Alan, why didn't you give Jason the entire 4521? Alan said to me, Auntie, I had to run off for a minute. I'm going to take him the remaining. Alan, the service is tomorrow. Auntie, okay.
I had to run off, meaning what?
He said he had to leave the funeral home to run an errand. I called Jason back. Jason, give him an hour. Jason said, Donna, your nephew not coming back. Why Jason felt that way, I don't know. Okay, an hour came and passed, Your Honor. No Alan. Jason called me back. Donna, if I don't get the 1621, I'm bringing your brother's body back to the funeral home. There would be no graveside service. I said, Jason, you can't do that to my family.
This money was to come from him?
Yes, sir.
His share?
Yes, sir.
That was his share?
With the GoFund account and the 900.
What GoFund account?
He set up a GoFund account. I want to give you. The last I saw was 521.
Okay, so 521 was to go as his portion. What other portion was to be his?
The 900 out of my brother's checking account, bank account.
How did he get access to that? He was the administrator, or he?
My brother's roommate gave Alan's his father bank card.
All right,
and his
he told
PIN
you
number.
he would put that 900 toward the funeral?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, sir, what do you say?
The money from the bank card, there never was any money on the card. The GoFundMe account was $328. Once they got their fees, I was sent $268. The money from his disability check never came.
There was no such $900.
No, it never.
All right. So all you ever received is $268.
From the GoFundMe, yes, sir.
All right. And had you committed to an additional amount?
No, sir.
You never said you'd pay?
I said I would help with what I could.
Okay.
And I pawned my truck title. I had a little savings. I took the money from the family that was donated. $3,800 is what was given to the funeral home, to Aubrey Bushlawn. She got a rate down. That's her ex-boyfriend.
We were talking about what you contributed. Say it again, because it sounds like
$1,000, sir.
$1,000?
Yes, sir.
All right, because I thought I heard you say $268 you received. So you traded in your truck or something?
I pawned my truck
and
title.
Received $1,000?
No, I received $700.
All right, and you combine that with the $268 for $1,000 that you contributed?
Plus the money that the family had donated, which was in my care.
And they put it in your hand?
Yes, sir.
How much, $2,900?
No, $1,500 is what was collected from the family.
Okay, so she never gave you, no one gave you $2,900?
No, sir. No, sir.
All right. So
I have it from Jason Bushlawn Funeral Home, a receipt here, Your Honor.
Saying what?
He stated what was given to him. They was outside when he collected this.
Who was outside? Jason
Bushlawn Funeral Home, my sister, and Alan.
Says you were in charge of the funeral arrangements. Chose services that came to 4551. And on Friday, October 16th, Mr. Alan Bryant paid $2,900 towards the funeral bill, which left a balance of $1,621. Before the services on the same day, Ms. Donna Bryan Johnson inquired about the balance. Once she found that the services might be canceled, she paid $1,621.
Judge Mathis rules on this dispute shortly. And coming up,
the first time it was actually at a Lil Wayne concert where he charged some females and told them that I was going to introduce them to Lil Wayne, and they came over to me and said I was supposed to introduce them. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And once they said, yeah, the big security guy knew what time it was, and one of them got belligerent, she hauled off and slapped.
Plaintiff Donna Bryan Johnson is suing her nephew, who she claims spent time in prison for grand theft auto.
All right. Funeral director says you only paid $2,900, which is the amount she said the family collected, and it says she had to pay the balance. Why are you only asking for $1,246 if it's $1,621?
On October the 31st, a family member sent me $375, so I deducted $375 from the $1,621.
Any further comments, sir?
No.
All right. Judgment for the plaintiff. The funeral director is the only independent evidence I have here.
Thank you,
Judgment
Your
for
Honor.
the plaintiff.
Thank
Have
you.
a good day.
Thank you. She's still my nephew, and I love you. And I hate we had to bring this all the way to Chicago from Georgia and Alabama. This make no sense. That was my brother and your father.
Plaintiff Kendall Tolbert is an artist and road manager. and he met the defendant at a club where he worked security. Kendall claims the defendant is a prankster, and as a result of his antics, Kendall was both slapped and shot at. Kendall's suing the defendant today for an unpaid barber tab. Defendant Dwayne Smith says Kendall is a wannabe rapper who was always trying to force his demos on people. Dwayne admits that he got haircuts on Kendall's barber tab, but says he did it because he believes Kendall made money off of YouTube videos of Dwayne. Therefore, Dwayne is countersuing for the profits from the videos.
Let's start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I first met Dwayne. He was head security at a club, and I'm an artist, independent artist, and also a road manager, and I would open up for all the major acts that came through, Mike Jones, T.I., Lil Wayne, 69 Boys, T-Pain, and he was head security. So we became friends because I'm there every other weekend doing shows. But he likes to play and prank, and the things he liked to do is only funny to him because he got me slapped and shot at on 2 separate occasions.
Doing what?
Well, the first time it was actually at a Lil Wayne concert where he charged some females and told them that I was going to introduce them to Lil Wayne. And he was able to sell that bit because I was actually talking to him at the time when they approached him about meeting him.
Well,
he was
$200.
So he said you'd hook it up.
He said I'd hook it up, and they came over to me and said I was supposed to introduce them. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And once they said, yeah, the big security guy knew what time it was, and one of them got belligerent, she hauled off and slapped me.
And when you approached him about it, what did he say?
I didn't even see him.
Okay. What was the next one when you got shot at?
Yeah, that definitely wasn't funny. It was
right.
It was a Mike Jones concert. He's a popular rapper from Houston.
I'm familiar with Mike Jones.
Okay, and in Houston.
All he do is rap about his name. Go ahead.
Well, in Houston, you know, lean is popular over there, promethazine and codeine.
Lean that's the stuff they kids drink to get high off.
Exactly.
And it makes you nod out like heroin.
That's what they say.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So after this show, again, the same scenario, I'm chopping it up with Mike Jones. We got a relationship. Some people approach him looking for lean. He does the same thing, takes money from them and sends them to me. And then these guys come up to me, hey man, your partner, I just gave them the money, said you're supposed to hook us up with the lean. I'm like, what you talking about? And again, the big security dude. Oh, okay. The one dude definitely wasn't playing because now we're talking about money. He said, all right, I'll be right back. He went to his car, got a firearm, and then shots rang out. So that put my life in danger. I definitely didn't take that as no joke.
Sir, you give me some background on your association.
I'm Strong Arm Security. My name is Dwayne Smith, and that's my company. And we managed big-time rappers when they came to the club. And he was always a good friend of mine, and I let him come through the back door, give his little demo out. He tried to be a rapper, but we won't go into that. And then I saw a little chance to make a few extra dollars one time with the ladies. So I figured he wanted to get his little Mac game on. I sent him to him. And
what about getting him shot at, though? What's that about?
Well,
alleging that he's selling drugs. These folks ain't playing. What, you thought it was going to be a fight? People don't fight no more. You might be the only one fighting. Go ahead.
Okay, so they came to me and they asked about some lean. And he had got me a little upset because he continued to push that night that Mike Jones was there to get back there, and I let him back there. So when they came to me with the $300, I saw my perfect opportunity. I sent them straight to him.
You need to be careful with all that, sir. Lil Wayne was shot at. You know that. His bus shot up down in Atlanta. Rick Ross, his car gets shot up while he's driving in Miami. And now you're playing games with this man about some lean and some money. And that whole culture, lean is a heavy part of that culture in Southern rap in particular, the Dirty South.
Correct.
So, you know, you need to be careful. And why don't they just stay weed heads, man? Why they got to drink that lean? That lean is one step away from heroin.
Don't go away. More of Judge Mathis is coming up.
Those videos combined amassed over 10 million views on YouTube.
Okay.
And you see, I'm just talking. He's on the video. He got famous. People know him for this.
I mean, famous.
Hood famous.
Hood, yeah, he hood famous.
Yeah.
So.
Nobody know this man outside the hood.
I was trying to figure out how I'm finna fix her car.
You stole someone else's headlight?
Even in the rain, the duct tape don't come off. It's good to go.
You're just trying to go to jail.
Next, Judge Mathis.
Plaintiff Kendall Tolbert is suing his former friend. He claims Kendall is a wannabe rapper who was constantly forcing his demos on people.
All right, so tell me how he owes you, sir, about the barbershop tab.
All right, so he would come in the barbershop and, get haircuts. I would cut his hair. And I don't know if you're familiar with Kimbo Slice. He was a backyard fighter, fight people in their backyard, went to UFC. So he'd come in the barbershop talking smack. Oh, I could beat Kimbo, I could do this. So I was like, bet you won't let me record you and put this on the internet and say that. So he did. I got 2-3 YouTube videos of him. They call Kimbo Slice Disc. And I presented them to the court. I have them if you would like to watch them.
Let's see it. So he said it on video.
Said it on video.
As far as he went with it.
Yeah.
I just want to know how you feel about about Kimbo Slice. He don't want none of you? I tell you this, but Kimbo ain't had a real fight. Man, stand up, man, so they can see, so they can make sure. Please, yeah, okay. Kimbo ain't had a real fight. Not a real fight. Not a real fight. Everybody he had, they had no heart. Look at them arms, man. Kimbo don't want none of that. Everybody got a right to their opinion, but when it's time to go down, when it's time to get rid, they say you're too slow, too big. Too slow. One dude says you work out with blunts, you a rookie. You know what I'm saying? No, she said that from a distance. From a distance? He said that from a distance.
All right, so he's just talking stuff. What's your point about this?
He's just talking stuff. Okay, so eventually, those videos combined amassed over 10 million views on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, now I didn't even know that they were getting popular. Now, meanwhile, you see, I'm just talking. He's on the video. He got famous. People know him for this.
I get famous.
People know him for this around the state and in the South.
Hood famous.
Hood, yeah, he hood famous. Yeah. So
everybody know this man outside the hood. Go ahead.
Yeah, he hood famous. So this was, before it was called going viral. I had all those views. He thinks that I made money off of the videos, and I'm telling him I didn't. So what he started doing, Your Honor, was coming into the barbershop and running up a barber tab, thinking that's how he gonna get his money back from me. Like
what do you mean by that?
Well,
you cut his hair and he say, I'll pay you later?
He go to other people and run up the tab, said, I will pay for it.
How many times did he do that?
He amassed over about $1,260. I got the receipts.
How much were the cuts?
$20, $30.
So that's how many times? 60 times?
Around that much. I got the breakdown for you, too.
So you didn't see him when he was doing it? Let's see it, please.
Here you go.
Yeah, he saw me when
You
I
didn't
was
see him when he was telling people to put it on your tab?
And sometimes I wouldn't even be there, because see what it is?
You were there one of those 60 times.
I was there a couple of times, but this is how it works.
What would you say? The man say, put it on his tab.
Yeah, I mean, look at him.
What would you say?
He really trying to be a bully, really trying to be a Debo.
So you were scared. Say what it is. You scared, call the police. I can see it now. Put it on his tab. And let me hear from you about throwing his money on his tab without his approval.
Yes, sir. Well, after he made those posts on YouTube, I not only became hood famous, as you might say, everywhere I went, because I have a security firm. People were saying, you challenge Kimbo? You challenge Kimbo? And I even got office. You want to do the fight? I wanted to do the fight, but it never happened. But then I looked on YouTube and I saw all the posts, over 9 million. And that's when they explained to me, you get paid from that. I said, what? So I went to Kendall and I asked him, I said, well, where's the money, man, from all these posts? What happened? Man, I didn't get nothing. I didn't get nothing. You didn't get nothing? How you didn't get nothing? Everybody keeps telling me that. So I figured like this. The way my mother taught me, fair exchange, even swap, no swindle. So I started going in there. The format for clip is, you sign in, they send you to a barber, he cuts your hair, they give you a piece of paper, tab, and then you go to the front and you pay for it. They cut my hair, I get the tab, I say, that's on GCB. That's on I kept doing it. Because I figured off the YouTube tab,
He never mentioned it to you all those times.
Oh, he mentioned it after a year, but I didn't stop.
He said, shut up. Keep going, keep going.
The judge will render his verdict when we return. And next, a Judge Mathis throwback. Plaintiff Kendall Tolbert is suing his former friend. He claims Kendall is a wannabe rapper who was constantly forcing his demos on people.
How does he owe you, sir?
Like
Did
I
you
said-
find out he made a profit? You can't sue a person unless you know they've made a profit. Everybody doesn't know how to monetize hits on the internet. So you have any proof he did any of that?
No, I don't. All I have is, what I do have is the tabulation of how many views.
I believe you,
each
but
one has.
the fact is you should be on it now trying to find out. And if he hasn't monetized it, you should. Instead of hooking up lean for rappers, find out how to monetize this 9 million hits you got. Judgment for the plaintiff. You put it on his tab without his approval. He knew, but he was just too scared to say anything. But that's one step away from extortion. Judgment for the plaintiff. You haven't proven he's made any money off your image and likeness. Therefore, I can't grant you a judgment. Have a good day, gentlemen.
Thank you.
It's that time again. Time for this week's Judge Mathis Throwback.
Plaintiff Linda Stepanek and her daughter Alex say Linda bought the defendant plane tickets to attend her daughter's wedding. However, at the reception, Linda claims the defendant got extremely intoxicated and started flashing their guests, and she has yet to repay Linda for the tickets. Defendant Renee Crowder says she is the victim because after the wedding, Alex and her husband viciously attacked her, ripped her dress, and kicked her out of Linda's house without any of her belongings. Renee's countersuing for medical bills and her wedding outfit.
Start with you, ma'am.
Well, Renee is a relative of my ex-husband, and she used to be a friend of my daughter, Alex. And on visits to Ohio, Renee expressed a desire to attend my other daughter, Jessica's wedding. And I said that was fine. And so I purchased tickets for them to come to Omaha to the wedding, and that went well until the reception, and then Renee just got totally out of control.
It was an open bar. She had drinks in one hand, had a drink in another, was taking shot after shot after shot.
2 drinks at a time.
Tequila, Jägermeister. At the reception, she was pulling up her dress, sitting on men's laps.
Trying to pick up my son.
Trying to hit on my brother, which would be her nephew.
She was smashed.
Yeah.
Ma'am, is any of this true?
No, sir. None of this is absolutely in the least bit true.
So you didn't get drunk at the wedding?
We were all at a wedding. We were all drinking, and we were all intoxicated.
Everybody
was intoxicated. Well, everybody at this party right here. The people we arrived with, Linda, everybody there.
Do you always get smashed at weddings? You do.
The incident with me, I'm sorry.
I say, do you always get smashed at weddings? And
No.
you said yes.
No, Your Honor.
And let's get to these plane tickets that you're suing for first, ma'am.
Well, I purchased the tickets, and
Did she agree to pay?
And Renee agreed that she would pay me, reimburse me
You
back.
failed to pay?
We have
for
a
the
check
$400.
All right,
stopped
let me
payment.
hear from her now. What do you say about the plane tickets they're suing you for?
Me and my ex-husband, which is sitting here, was under the understanding that we were invited to all be
You were
flown out.
under the influence, Dole says. Were you under the understanding or under the influence?
We were under
Dole
the
says?
understanding
All right.
that Linda was purchasing this ticket so we can attend my other niece's wedding.
Why did you write me a check?
If that was the case,
Ma'am, did you agree to repay her?
No.
Yes.
then why would she write a check?
They say they have a check.
They
from
had
you.
my plane ticket. That was the only way I had to get home.
She wouldn't give her a plane ticket to get home unless she wrote
Unless
her a
I
check.
wrote the check out.
That is
not true.
I thought I needed
What
the
are
plane
you
ticket.
saying, sir? Come on up. State your name.
Timothy Cottrell. They had her purse, her ID, her money, her wallet,
Everything.
How did they get her purse and
Because
ID?
they threw her out of the
They threw me out
house.
of the home.
That is
victim.
such a
I am
lie.
totally the victim here. I'm totally the victim
She
here.
walked. Wait a minute.
No, no.
Did
I'm
you all
totally-
have her purse and ID?
Yes. They all had it.
Luggage was there. She was staying there. Her whole
No,
luggage.
Alex and her husband.
Did you all
stayed
ever
out.
prohibit her from getting her purse and ID?
Yes, they
The
did.
cops came and I even gave the cops her luggage and everything.
Let me see the
Cops-
police report. And
Well,
what?
they wouldn't give it to us. They said
Do
it
you
was
have a police report? All right, you tell me about this counterclaim for medical bills and wedding outfit that obviously is a result of this fight. What happened? How did it escalate into a fight? You all are at the reception at one point. Everybody's drunk and having fun. You're drinking 2 drinks at a time. How does it ultimately lead to an altercation? What happens?
We all, me, Alex, her husband, and Tim all left the wedding reception. Me and Tim was getting in an argument in the vehicle. When we pulled up into Linda's driveway, Alex's husband turned around and started slapping me in the back seat. We all got in the house.
Why was he smacking you?
It's because I was upsetting their kids.
Oh my God.
By yelling and crying and carrying on.
The kids were in the car?
The babies were in the car.
And her husband is smacking me in the back seat of the car. Then it drug into the house. Linda told Alex and her husband to throw me outside with no shoes. Alex's husband ripped my dress. My whole body was exposed to everybody there. Total humiliation.
More Judge Mathis Throwback when we return. And on the next Judge Mathis.
I was trying to figure out how I'm finna fix her car.
You stole someone else's headlight?
Even in the rain, the duct tape don't come off. It's good to go.
You was trying to go to jail.
Next Judge Mathis.
Judge Mathis Throwback. Plaintiff Linda Stepanek says the defendant got so drunk at her daughter's wedding that she started a fight and ended up in the hospital.
So you go into the house and then what?
They all start jumping me. I mean, all of them. 5 people on one.
5 people began to jump you?
Yes.
Why? Anybody saying why?
Because I was being...
You're no longer making noise in the car for the kids.
Because I was being obnoxious.
What are you doing now, huh?
Linda was saying, just get her out of my house. Just get her out of my house. I don't care what you
were
gotta
talking
do.
crazy.
Right, and they threw me outside. And this is in the cornfields. No shoes, no purse, no identification, nothing.
All right, what do you all say to this?
Sir, can I speak in? Wait a minute.
I don't know where to begin.
Don't y'all start fighting in here.
We're at the reception.
Right.
We're at the reception. She's being obnoxious. My sister comes up to me and was like, please keep her in the bar away from my wedding guests.
Here's statements
so they're
from
not
my
witnessing
daughter
her
and
being
her
a fool. So I keep her in the bar away from the guests. Then her and Tim get in an argument and start yelling. I'm like, all right, well, let's go. So we get in the car. I have to sit in the back seat because her and Tim cannot be next to each other without hitting each other. Renee starts reaching around from the back seat and starts slapping Tim and ripped his pocket and starts slapping Tim in the car.
I've never.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, finish your side.
So we get back to the house. I get out of the car. She grabs me by my throat. It was like, I'm your family. How are you going to do this to me? This, that.
Go ahead, then what?
So I just kind of pushed her away from me. I go in the house. She starts coming in the house, ranting and raving, going ballistic, slapping on Tim. My sister tries to help her up the stairs.
She's hitting Tim all the way downstairs to our family room.
He's right here
my
saying
name
that
is
never
Teresa
happened.
Stabler, sir, and I'm her oldest daughter. And she's hitting Tim all the way downstairs. And I'm trying to keep peace with her. And I said, Renee, you really just need to sleep it off. You've had just way too much to drink. So I'm helping her up these steps to get her to lay down because she turns around. There's 20 steps. She turns around and tries to kick me down the stairs.
And she's crippled, walks with a cane.
I have to use a cane. Okay,
and that's
she's trying to kick me down the stairs.
That's when my stepdad gets up and breaks
her
them apart.
To hold on so I don't fall down 20 steps. And she starts punching me. That's when my stepdad jumped in, and her boobs are falling out of her dress.
Because her husband ripped my dress.
My husband wasn't
Alex's husband.
My husband
wasn't
That is
my
a lie.
dress.
My husband, I touched her because I was
had my
defending
witness to see the whole thing.
What medical bills are you suing
Right here.
for? How
right
did
here,
you
black
end
and
up
white.
being hospitalized?
Here's my
Let me
photos.
see
Where's
your
theirs?
pictures.
If I victimize them, where are their photos?
I was
defending
defending myself. She provoked me. I did because I was defending myself.
Bruises. I see you looking drunk.
There you go.
3 days later.
That's 3 days later, Your Honor.
3 days later, you still drunk. That's all I see, ma'am. What's your wedding outfit you're suing her for? Why is she to pay for your wedding outfit, ma'am?
Because it happened at her residence, and she told him to grab me and throw me outside. Here's all my medical bills.
She told who to do that?
She walked out.
In the state of Nebraska. I don't live there, never been there. There's
I'm
my
not
medical
granting you
bills.
a penny in medical expenses. And from what I've heard, I am convinced that you were very drunk and out of control. They don't owe you a dime. Your claim is dismissed. $400 for the plaintiff. You gave her a check intending to pay, and then you stopped payment on it. That allows her to collect from you. $400 for the plaintiff. Your claim is dismissed, ma'am. Stay off the liquor. Have a good day.
All right. the whole situation was bogus.
I just do not understand how she can feel she needs